Hey, Restored family. As you've likely heard, the state of Pennsylvania released new mandates this week in regards to COVID-19 restrictions. If you've read these, you might have wondered how this impacts how we're operating as a church. See, up until this point, we've been able to allow each of our groups to make individualized choices on their level of precautions based on their personal preferences and comfort level with people. This new mandate now states that masks are required at all times indoors, including homes, regardless of social distancing, anytime you're with people outside of your household. These mandates have been put in place to slow the spread of the virus, particularly as we approach Thanksgiving and Christmas. Based on this new mandate, we are now asking all of our micro gatherings, community groups, and restored youth to wear a mask when meeting. Despite the difficulty of this, we still highly value gathering as a church for in-person community in almost 30 different locations. If it's a choice between the inconvenience of a mask to still meet in person or the isolation of a stay-at-home order, I'm grateful that we can still meet in person. Now that you know what we're planning, I want to take some time and tell you why we're doing this and also speak to those of you that might be struggling with this decision. The COVID-19 virus is real, and the rise of cases in our county is substantial. Hospitals have seen a significant increase in COVID patients. I personally know people currently hospitalized with the virus, and we just had someone in our church lose a family member to COVID this week. After averaging only 15 to 20 new cases per day in Luzerne County at the beginning of October, things are worse now than they were in March and April. We're now averaging almost 200 new cases per day. Just this week, we've had 935 new cases in our county. The number of COVID-19 hospitalizations has doubled this month alone, and Pastor Jim has told me that he's seen the effects of this firsthand in his work with the medical community. Beyond the health risk, many in our church family face the income risk of being forced to take multiple weeks of unpaid leave from their jobs if they're even exposed to COVID. As a church, we're called to be like Jesus. Jesus counted others' needs more significant than his own, and we need to as well. To be honest, I don't like wearing a mask, but I want to become more like Jesus, and I know that this is an opportunity for all of us to grow in that. Ultimately, we want our city to be thankful for the way that we navigate this season, and we want them to see us representing Jesus well. I know that everyone has a wide variety of opinions and thoughts on COVID-19, the effectiveness of masks, government overreach, civil disobedience, and where the line is to be drawn. Regardless of where you fall on that spectrum, let me point you to these words to guide our actions, words, and post. The Apostle Paul writes in Titus 3:1 and 2, "Remind the believers to submit to the government and its officers. They should be obedient, ready to do what is good. They must not slander anyone and must avoid quarreling. Instead, they should be gentle and show true humility to everyone." Ultimately, what God says is more important than what we want. If you find yourself struggling with how our church is handling this, let me encourage you to pray, study through those verses, and come to me so that we can talk through things. Thank you for your prayers for our church. Thank you for your resilience and flexibility. And thank you for representing Jesus well in this time.